Going to the book of Hebrews is going to be very exciting, just like we did when we went through the book of Romans. And I think that it's really important that the reason we're going to start where we're going to start is because eventually we're going to try to understand verse 22 of chapter 7, which it says, by as much as this Yeshua has become a guarantor of a better covenant. What in the world does that mean? And hasn't that caused enough trouble through mainstream Christianity's interpretations as well as most of the Messianic Hebrew roots groups? What in the world is the writer of Hebrews talking about in terms of a better covenant? What do we do when all of our structure is gone? It'd be like taking a child away from its family and away from everybody and just sticking it out in the middle of somewhere. What is it going to do? Who is it going to look towards? I'm not even saying putting it in a forest. I'm saying just stick it in the middle of a crowded street. Not in the street where the cars are, but just like on a street where people are walking around. I said, there you go, now what? Who do you trust? Who do you look towards? Where's the structure? Where's the safety? Who's going to provide? That's a lot of what's going on here in the book of Hebrews. There's going to be a theme all the way through the book of Hebrews trying to make you understand that yes, there's no diminishing, important, make a note, no diminishing, no attacking, no insulting, no putting down the previous, but to show you that there's now a better or higher or more filled up, and we're going to get to what the word better actually translates and what it means in the Greek. It's badly translated there. Okay? And so we're going to see the example and that metaphor play out in lots of ways throughout the book of Hebrews. This book, every bit of it, the Word, the Bible, the Scriptures, whatever you want to call, from Genesis to Revelation, was not written to you. It was written for you. You weren't there. The letters that were written for people who were there. Okay, so you have to then put yourself in their shoes to understand that since it was written to them, how would my mind have been if I had been there? What would I be thinking? How would I be feeling? What would be the context? Because it was written to them, but for you. But for you to really understand what was written, you've got to go and put yourself in their shoes. So in other words, he didn't call you out of all the junk you were in, which, by the way, I know most of you are still in a lot of junk. We all are. We're still dealing with our junk, right? But he didn't deliver you out of that just so that you could say thank you and go on your merry way doing whatever. You are not to neglect the deliverance. In other words, to remember and recognize the reason for delivering you out. And paying attention to and attending to that reason. This book is about a transition. We'll see this by the time we get to like chapter 5 or 6, where we start getting into Melchizedek. I think in chapter 5, but we're going to see that this is a transitional mindset switch from one priesthood to another, not from one set of laws to another. In other words, we're not doing away with the Torah and coming into some other set of laws. There's going to be a change in priesthood. He's trying to say to you here, let's see what he's not saying. He's not saying those guys are dumb and foolish. You're going to now have a better, different way to do things. He said, you're dealing with stuff just like them. Don't be dumb and foolish like them. It's a warning to say you are dealing with similar stuff and they did dumb things with it. Don't act like they did. Don't harden your hearts and be in rebellion. Yet Christianity will take these books like the book of Hebrews and use it as a way to quote unquote do away with everything Yahweh said, in which is basically hardened hearts and rebellion. The metaphor here for his rest is eventually the kingdom, the forever. Coming into the land, they would have had rest. Nobody would have harassed them. Nobody would have bothered them. They would have had life abundantly. So when you come into him, you have rest. You don't have burden. You don't have all those laws are so burdensome. Really? Nobody left of Matthew thought that, and really nobody right of Matthew did either. Certainly James didn't when he called it the Torah of freedom. There has always been that remnant few that would embrace and would enter in. But notice that phrase, enter in, it's an active idea. I can open a door and you can stand there and not enter. All right? You can knock on a door even, and I can open it up, and you can still not enter. You can say, hey, can I come in? And I can say yes, and you can still stand there. So we have to remember there's an active participation here. People love this verse for all the wrong reasons. The word of Elohim is a two-edged sword, so I'm going to wield it. No, he's going to wield it to separate your, I can't find polite words to say it, your junk, your bull, whatever, your stuff, where you're lying to yourself and lying to each other from the truth. He's going to cut through your junk to the truth. Stop you thinking you get to wield it.